Hey everyone, this is Norm Farar, aka the Beard Guy here, and welcome to another Lunch with Norm, the Amazon FBA and e-commerce podcast.
Lunch with Norm. Lunch with Norm. Lunch with Norm. Lunch with Norm.
Okay, today's show we are going to be talking about hot topic, how to sell your product into retailers in the USA. So we've talked to Afalabi about sourcing products in the USA. Now, how do you sell products into retailers in the USA, which I think would be awesome. We've talked about it a lot this year, but don't be stuck being a one-legged stool. Todd Snively came on and talked about wholesale. So this is just another outlet for you to push your products. So today's guest, he's got a ton of experience in this. He started selling into retailers or offline to retailers back in 2005 to a bunch of different specialty stores. He's got a ton of products selling in about 60 different retail outlets right now. And I can tell you, he's been on here before. This guy knows his stuff. So he has a ton of his own brands. He coaches, and he's really an interesting guy. So that's Taylor Ofer. So we will be talking to him shortly. But before we get to that, a big thank you to our sponsor, Global Wired Advisors, a leading digital investment bank focused on optimizing the business sales profit. For more information, contact Chris and his team at globalwiredadvisors.com. All right, Kelsey.
That's my name. Hey, hey, hey.
And don't wear it out. Yeah, I get it. Okay, how are you?
Good. I'm doing great. Welcome, everyone. Happy Mondays. We already have a bunch of people.
I just went to my COVID test.
Oh, did you? Yes, because you're going to
getting ready for the $1 billion Seller Summit.
Oh,
so that's
exciting.
something. I'd be curious, is anybody going to Austin? And if you are, let me know. It's going to be a great conference.
Yeah, that's the $1 billion Seller Summit happening in Austin. Awesome. Yeah, let us know in the comments section. Also, just want to say hello to our Beard Nation joining us. We have Jessica Rabbit, Fatia, Chelsea, Rad,
Chelsea
Howard.
Cohen.
Yes, from LinkedIn too.
Jeez.
So that's great. Great to see everyone. All right, so we do have a great prize today, but we'll dive into that a little bit later into the show. But if you haven't yet, please smash those like buttons, get those thumbs up going. And if you have any questions about retailing, a lot of people are just selling on Amazon. So if you have any questions, and they can be as simple as it needs to be, but just feel free to answer it. There's no dumb questions here. But yeah, put that over in the comment section as well. And if we are still looking for a couple people for our Beard Nation appreciation episode, that is our 200th episode. So we're looking to our audience to see if there's anyone that wants to be on the Lunch with Norm podcast on, I think it's like September 29th on the Wednesday. So if you are interested, you can send me an email, k@lunchwithnorm, and just tell us your favorite episode or why you're interested in being
Make
on the
it up
show,
as you go, Kelsey.
a little.
Yeah, you do that all the time. You just make it up as you go.
That's the Kelsey way.
Okay.
But that's it.
Oh, is that good?
That's good. Yeah.
Look?
I can leave now.
Nope, wrong way. There, get off the screen. Okay, so if you do have any questions, just throw it in the comments section. And now sit back, relax, grab your cup of coffee. I did, and enjoy the episode.
Hello, everyone. Hi, Norm.
Hello. Now, I got to ask you this, because these Israeli names really mess me up. Am I saying your name right? Is it?
Yeah, you are, but I think it is Talor. That's how my mom and my wife calls me. But back in the States, or actually across the whole world, the people call me Taylor because it's easier to pronounce in English.
That's what I would have said.
Yeah,
But it's like Sharon Evan, right? I always say her name wrong, but
Sharon Even.
Yeah, Sharon. It's easier.
Right.
Okay.
Right. Yeah.
We got a great topic today. And
Yes, thanks
before
for
we get
having me.
into it, you've been on the podcast before. We've talked about this before, but I think it's really relevant because we have been talking about sourcing products in the U.S. and now like being just more U.S. Focus. Before we get into it, can we just know a little bit more about you and what you do?
Sure. Well, I mentioned that before, but I'll do that like as fast as I can. It's almost 2 decades, so it's a little bit hard to do it fast.
It's an hour-long podcast, so you can take your time.
Yeah, right. Well, we want to focus about, real stuff. Anyway, history. So I started my road actually 2001, 2000 to 2003, 4. I've been living in Japan. I've been living in Spain. I've been living all over the place. And I ended up living in China for 7 years. And that's where I started my real road in terms of retail. So I gathered with a bunch of businessmen in China, foreigners, not Chinese, but anyway. And we established factories, and we were producing for Walmart and producing for BCBG and so on, a couple of like interesting names. And, after a few years in that field, I kind of realized when I've seen like a lot of people running and rushing to the online space, that it is a great opportunity to sell online. But besides having an account on Alibaba.com as a manufacturer, I didn't really do anything online. So I just figured my thing is the retail, like the offline, the real, physical stores. And that's what I did during the years. 2010, I left China, and then I started to build a brand with a friend here from Tel Aviv, but we had a company in New York. And that brand was a great success. And we managed to sell like to more than 60 different retailers, as you mentioned before. And yeah, that that point of thing of selling to more and more retailers, and we're talking about like big names, not only Macy's and Target and Costco, but also Neiman Marcus and Nordstrom, even American Eagle. We did some, co-branding with famous names as well, like garment names and everything, although we didn't do garment. So anyway, that focused me a little bit more and more on this like channel of, that's why I call it today, I call it channel, because around 2016 and 17, when I started to understand that this line of products is not relevant anymore in the market, I was like thinking, what's next? And then all of a sudden, like out of the woods, I would say, a lot of Amazon seller approached and asked, hey, we heard that you're doing like selling in retail space, and we are interested in doing that. Because the thing is that, when people sell in Amazon, and that was the first thing I noticed, they speak my language. Like, I mean, now it's everyone's language in the Amazon community, but back in those days, it was like, when I spoke that language, and when I'm saying language, I'm talking about terms like, manufacturing, lead time, FOB, all these terms, all these things that you're, supply chain things and everything, 3PL, logistic part and everything. And when I've seen, like, I was quite amazed seeing that a lot of Amazon sellers they're not just buying products in China, but they're really building like a brand. And that's something that, and I loved seeing that on your groups, like the rise of the microbrands, because this is a great definition of what's happening in the market. Like, you have these big names, right? Oh, cool. I love that. I didn't brought my coffee today, but anyway, I can smell yours. So yeah, I mean, the rise of the microbrands it's a very big thing, really big thing. And I'm seeing this happening for like a bunch of years. And again, when I've seen like those Amazon sellers, struggling with all the Amazon PPC issues and whatever, technical stuff, but at the same time being capable of building their brand, I was like, wow, this is amazing. Like, these people actually knows everything in terms of the supply chain, and they know it good, and some of them even did like very good branding and everything. And I was like very happy about it, because I thought, all right, so maybe I'll end up, either helping them to sell offline or selling their products myself. So in the early years of my retail empire activity, like, selling, moving, I would call it moving brands from online to offline, I was focusing on coaching, because I had the understanding that, they do know all the language and everything of supply chain, but when it comes to retail language, no, they don't know the language, and they don't understand how it really works. And it's the same way, like, if I would want to sell on Amazon, I wouldn't know. I will have someone to guide me, because I wouldn't know, how to do it, how to upload, what to upload, how to handle competition, all these, topics. Sounds basics to you, I know, because you guys I'm hearing it on your podcasts, that you have very advantageous very advanced, very advanced topics in terms of Amazon. So anyway, I was starting to coach and everything. And then recently I realized 2 points. The first point I realized is that I'm getting tired from coaching because, you know, it takes a lot of energy to coach one-on-one, even for groups. It takes a lot of energy out of you and it leaves you a little bit empty. That's number one. Number two, it's easier to do it yourself. Like as a company, me and my team, we can do the whole process of online to offline ourselves as a service. And the third thing I realized is that, you know, the majority of, you know, the micro brands, I would call it, the online sellers, they want service. They don't really want to be coached because they already have a lot on their plate in terms of what they're dealing with on Amazon side. So that's what I do today. That's I do like this service, which we will talk about later. But yeah, that was my not really short brief.
Okay, well, I mean, that's great to know and fits perfectly into the podcast today. You know, one of the things I should mention, because I always forget, but we do have a really great giveaway and it's on point. So, you know, if I know people are going to love this, go ahead and tell everybody what they're going to get. I'll let you do the, I mean, this is going to be great for anybody who wants to get into the retail world.
You got it. So normally I would, we would talk about the giveaway of consultation, like an hour consultation with me, but now we have something totally different, higher level of that. So there's like a link which you guys are going to see during the podcast or afterwards. And this link is leading to my website, and there you have a form to fill in. The form is asking you basic questions, and I'm seeing this form myself, or either my team, but usually me. And I'm like looking at this and saying, all right, is there an opportunity here with these products and with this information for this vendor to have presence in retail space? So that's the first thing I'm going to do. And that's like open for everyone. But the one who's going to gain the spinner, or I'm not sure what's the term for that.
Wheel of Kelsey.
Wheel of Kelsey, I'm sorry. Yeah. So the winner of Wheel of Kelsey is going to get from me, if his line or her, if this vendor's line is like retail ready, it's already there, it's already like fine, then I'm going to connect that vendor to at least, you can start with, but at least 2 of my connections, and it could be upon the vendor's choice. It could be, as I mentioned before, it could be Macy's, Bloomingdale, Urban Outfitter, you name it, you can choose from a list and I'll make the connection and you can have a great start, hopefully, in the retail space.
So how's that, guys? So if the product is retail ready, great. If it's not, Talor is going to be talking to you about how to get it put together. So that consult is hashtag Wheel of Kelsey. If you want to join twice, get a second ballot. It's just tagging 2 people. Take advantage of it. This doesn't happen too often. 2 direct connections. So, okay, so let's start talking about retail. Why do you think it is that Amazon sellers are not looking over at these specialty stores? And right now we're talking specialty stores, not the Macy's or the Costco's, but there's so many advantages out there. What is it? Is it the perception of being hard? Why is it?
Well, I think people just don't know where to start from. Like, they understand the market is there, and then there are, I think, at least for what I've seen, people are like, okay, let's try on LinkedIn, let's try on Google, let's try sending emails and stuff like that. But then there's a conversion here, the same way you have conversion online. And the conversion, let's say you're sending, like, shooting 100 messages, emails or whatever it is, text message, whatever. Out of the 100, if you're not retail ready, and that's the biggest term we're going to talk about, if you're not retail ready, most cases your conversion is going to end up with 1 to 5% at the maximum. And if you're lucky, it might be even a 0 conversion. Okay. The thing is that, I mean, from the vendor side, it's like some of them are trying, and those who try ending up sometimes with bad conversion, thinking like, all right, that's not my game, that's not my thing. I tried, but didn't work, so forget it. Second, I think it's a matter of understanding what are the opportunities out there. You just mentioned about specialty stores, which are what they call in the States moms and pop stores. But I mean, this is like, it's a huge business. It's a huge business. There are like hundreds of thousands of stores like that, individual ones, you know, street stores or mall stores or whatever, without these big names, Macy's or whatever, like family business store. And again, how do I reach them out? People are asking themselves, how do I reach them out? And if I reach them out, what am I going to do? Like how much I'm going to sell it for them? Like what's going to be the pricing? What am I supposed to show them? People are getting like, you know, a little bit frightened. And the funny thing about it is that there's not much, if at all, information out there about it. Because if you search on YouTube or whatever platform, how to sell on Amazon, you get tons of information. So many, you know, gurus and so many people talking about it and giving free tips and free courses or whatever, or at least partial ones, and which is not happening in the retail space. Like people just don't talk about it; they just do. That's from the vendor side, and as I mentioned, I mean, it's not only the specialty stores and not only the retailers. There are other channels as well, because if you look at the online channels, which are proper online, like Macy's.com, I would say, or Pier1.com, Leaning and Things, which dropped all their stores and moved to online, LNT.com, and so on and so on. You see that there's like a huge business there. And again, the sophisticated, or let's call it the advanced sellers would sell on Walmart. Some of them somehow would reach Home Depot or another 2 or 3 different retailers. The most advanced I've seen were selling at SandClub.com, which is a retailer. They have, you know, physical stores. And obviously, once you're selling online with those retailers' online platforms, you can sell offline with them as well. It's a matter of there's a switch to do there, but still, it's a possibility. So, I mean, I'm not sure what's the biggest issue here, but I think it's something about like there's no information out there. Like people don't talk about it enough. And I do hear in a lot of groups that I'm connected with that a lot of people are, you know, in the last year or two or so, started to talk about it within these groups. Like, how are we moving, you know, to new channels? Because Amazon is great, but hey, we need more, right? We can't put all the balls in one basket. So all the eggs.
I think it's so important right now. You know, if you're going downtown, the cities are opening up, and you know what? That could change tomorrow, right? They can close down, lock down everything. But cities or towns are opening up, and they all have those specialty stores. They all have those mom and pop stores. And if you can get into those stores, that's fantastic. One thing I'd be interested in hearing from anybody who's listening today: do you sell into any retail stores? And if so, I'd like to hear your experience. So I think I know a few people that I see online here that probably had some experience. But if you do, throw it into the comments section. Love to hear what your experience has been. Okay, next question is, let's talk about retail readiness. How do you get your microbrand on Amazon retail ready?
Right, that's the biggest question. I mean, just to understand and define it, retail ready is a term, and you know, I'm using this term for quite a while by now, because I just realized during the years when I started working with online sellers trying to sell their products that they were not retail ready, and I started hearing this feedback from my contacts in the retail space. They were like, "Mate, this is not retail ready." And I was like thinking about this term because I heard it again and again and again, and I was like, what exactly defines retail ready? So I just, you know, researched on my own, on my side, and built something that I think that is building the retail ready in points. Like we all, you know, we love numbers and everything. So my number here, it's not the best number. The best number is 7, but my number here is 6. I divided to six sub-subjects which are making it retail ready. So, well, the first thing, I mean, it's not first, it doesn't have to be in that order, but the first thing that we're going to talk about is branding. And when you look at branding, suppose that you approached one of the retailers or the specialty stores and you show them whatever, you're writing them, "Hey, my name is Sam and I'm selling these products," and sending them a link. So if they go to that link and they see your store, and your store looks like Amazon seller store, which is not bad when you sell on Amazon, but out there in the retail space, it's not good. Meaning, just for the example, like having, those 5 stars from Amazon, Amazon vibe, white background pictures, and so forth. Like, the branding is not there. They would immediately see that there is no branding, there's no language, there's no, it's just products, nothing beyond that. Seeing that, they would get afraid of working with you, and we will explain the reason for that later on. But this is going to be like the first thing that you have to look at it when you're talking about branding, the actual website. Now, I mean, some of them even sending, instead of being able, giving the option to sell, to buy products on their website, they are sending like a referral link to Amazon, which is even worse. Because like, it's your website, you can sell there. Even if you don't have, the operation for that, at least make it look like you're selling there, at least for the first step. Because if people would look for you on Amazon, they would find you on Amazon. They don't need your own website. If they got to your website, they want to see something else. So the website is the first thing. The second thing I would put under branding as well, but this is like something that a little bit more advanced, and that's what we call catalog. Now it can be a lookbook or catalog or teaser deck. It doesn't matter how you define it. I just call it catalog because it's easier. And I did see some, catalogs of online vendors, and I always see that there's like a huge gap between what they show in the catalog and on their website. It's not the same vibe of colors, not the same fonts, not the same pictures. Something is different. Something is not making sense in terms of branding. And I don't want to dive into branding because a lot of people came here and spoke about branding, and yourself, I think you're a big expert of branding as far as I heard. But in general, when we say branding, we know what we're talking about. We're talking about mainly being like attractive. And if the catalog looks poor and not attractive, and sometimes people would send it on Excel or Word file. I mean, come on, the basic is to have it on PDF, not on PPTX, because that makes it a little bit harder to open and use and so on. But just a PDF catalog with whatever, 5, 10, 15 pages. And even those, who does these catalogs, they don't really know how to do it properly, because they see it on their view like, wow, it's beautiful, it's amazing, let me send it, I'm going to send it. But then the thing is that you have to think all the time, what's happening on the other side? What's the, basic psychological side on the other side? Meaning, when a buyer or GMO or CMO, whatever title, is opening your email, deciding that, all right, these 2 lines in the beginning make sense, I've seen the website, let's see the catalog. If they're getting that far and they open your catalog, it's like a stage. Think about you walking into the store, telling them, hey, I'm showing you my products. Now, there are so many ways to do this presentation, but you really have to know one big thing. You have to keep them aware, keep them alive. Don't start to show them 3, 4, 5 pages of telling them who you are and what you do, because they don't care. They don't know you. You're a micro brand. You have to step in with the bomb, first of all, on the table, and then to talk. First of all, show your bombs. The first page, yeah, it could be your, logo and stuff like that. But the second page should already be like, boom, a product that I can see and I can understand in a second what the product is, what it does, and what is special about it. Now, if you have products that tons of people have, it doesn't mean that it's not special. Because if you take a pattern, for instance, you're taking white dots or black dots or whatever crazy pattern, it doesn't even have to exist in your inventory. It could be rendered, right? So if you're taking a crazy, or not just crazy, but really good looking pattern into your product, suppose that you're using a so-called boring product, then you're getting attraction from the other side. And the buyer, the GMO, whatever, they would look like, oh, this is interesting. I haven't seen that before. I mean, I've seen that product, but not like that. Then they want to scroll to the next page and so on. So the thing here is to make them go through the levels they go, because they look at retail ready. And they go to those levels without saying and without even thinking. It's like it's automatic happening in their mind. So you want to go through them on this process on the right way. So first of all, you do it with the website, as I mentioned, then you do it with the catalog, then you keep them attractive and everything, and then they would look at the pricing, right? Which is the third big important thing. They would look at the pricing. Now, well, I would suggest always to keep like, just exposing your MSRP, your retail price. MSRP is manufacturer suggested retail price for those who are not familiar. This means like the retail price, the price you're selling on Amazon, on your website, or the final price for consumer. You don't want to show them wholesale prices in the first shot because, it depends what their pricing method is. Like, for instance, if I look at Bed Bath & Beyond, yes, they work on 50%, meaning MSRP is $100, the wholesale price would be $50. But if you look at Neiman Marcus, they are working on a markup, markup, yeah? Not margin, markup of 60%, meaning from that $100 MSRP, you will have to offer them $40 if you want them to be able to buy it, to make their margin. And if you're talking about TJ Maxx is working on 25 because they take the benchmark wholesale price, which is half usually, meaning if I'm selling $100 product for consumer, for end buyer, end consumer, and the wholesale price is benchmark side would be $50 because that's something that you want to start to work with. Then TJ Maxx would buy it for half of the wholesale price, meaning half of the half. So eventually it's 25%. That's what they buy for. They make it easy for you in terms of process and everything with TJ. And yes, I mean, they have more than 4,000 physical stores, and they have like a very good growing daily online channel and everything. And they are also including Marshall on their orders because Marshall and TJ are the same company, one under the other. But this is what pricing is, talking about. So that's why I wouldn't suggest wholesale price in the pricing. Now, the pricing could be on the catalog as an MSRP, but you cannot send an introduction email with pricing inside because, hey, nobody asked you for that, right? It's like saying, you know what, let's start from step 3. And, and you have to play the game. That's how it works.
What about specialty stores? Is there kind of a ballpark that they're looking for? So we've gone through TJ Maxx and the other options, but what about small mom and pops?
So moms and pops, they work for 50%. If you sell it for 100, they would expect for 50. The good thing about them is sometimes they would be willing to pay a bit more than that. Like if you have special products, well designed, patent, unique, whatever it is, then yeah, you can charge 55 or even 60%, and it's fine. It's all about your products and about their volume. Because if you're offering that and you're saying, hey, my minimum, first order is whatever, $500, $1,000, 50 pieces, you define it whatever you want, and they want less than that, you would say, all right, so we have handling process and we have this and we have that, so it's 60%, like it's $60, not percent. Plus, you have to keep in mind that these prices are always FOB warehouse. I know this is a wrong term because it cannot be FOB warehouse because a warehouse is not a board, and FOB is firm board, but we call it FOB in the industry, and the meaning is like same meaning that we use in China, like EXW, like price in the gate of my warehouse is this. Now from here, either you pay or we pay for the freight, which is like calculated separately. I'm saying that because people are frequently asking this question. Yeah, that's for specialty stores. And I could mention, and we spoke about it last time, that for subscription boxes, which is a whole different channel, and we won't talk about it today because we spoke about it. You're very well invited to watch previous podcast I had with Norm. It's mostly we spoke about that channel. So subscription boxes would pay between 6 to 12% of MSRP, which is very low. From the other hand, their opening orders would be somewhere between 30,000 up to 300,000, which is quite heavy. And another one that I wanted to mention is TV segments. I'm working from time to time with Good Morning America, which is under Oh my God. Good morning, America. It's the show, and there's deals and steals inside the show. It's a corner for, shopping, buying, and so on. They have the View, they have GMA, they have a bunch of them, but I'm working with, it's the same buying team. So with them, again, it's like you have to offer it for 50% for the audience because they're going to buy it for wholesale price because it's, it's a special sale. And then the ABC channel, that the GMA team, they would take 25% off that 50%. So you're going to be left with 37% more or less out of this $100 that we're talking about. So if your buying price is $10 or 15, then you're all good. But if your buying price is 35, then for $2, I wouldn't go for that. That's really in general. So that's for the pricing, which is like a thing. Now, there's another block, and it's always related with the pricing because we spoke about pricing a little bit, but then you're thinking like, all right, so how do I know what's the best pricing for me? Because, okay, I understand the percentage you're saying here and everything. But then there's another thing we haven't spoke about, which is a very critical, and that's your competition, because there is competition, obviously, everywhere. The most, the best thing would be not to have competition, and sometimes, really rare, it happens. But yes, you have competition, much less than Amazon. It's not the same thing. It's not a jungle. It's a different jungle, but it's not a jungle like on Amazon. So the thing with that thing of how to know the right pricing and everything is talking about the next point that is related to the retail ready, and that's the research point, which is the so-called boring point, because research is something that is time-consuming, tiring, and something that you always look at it like, okay, I'm going to finish that coffee and I'm off with this. I'll start again tomorrow. That's how it is with research. It's always tiring. But the thing is that it's also exciting sometimes, because if you look deeply and you start scrolling and seeing like what other people are selling, and let's take an example. Suppose that I'm selling a product. It doesn't really matter what the product is. And I'm selling the Rise of the Microbrand cup. That's what I'm selling in retail. These are the cups that I'm selling. So I want to go to Costco and Target and Macy's and all the retailers that are potentially going to be holding these products, and I want to see similar products. Now, if I want to see, if I'm selling this cup and this is a high-end cup, I wouldn't go to TJ because they are a low-end and low pricing retailer. So I would go to Williams-Sonoma. I would go to companies, Bloomingdale, Urban Outfitter, whatever, Free People, stuff like that. A little bit more, advanced and higher prices. And then I would start to see. Now it's the same thing as on Amazon. Once you see similar product to yours, you can find very easily, you can see actually in your eyes that on the website, the vendor's name, and you can go to their website and start researching on them. Now, if you research them deeper, you would find if they're selling on other retailers as well. So if you found them on Costco and Walmart, then most probably they are very advanced, but still selling online only. But you want to know what these companies are holding in their stores, and you want to do it without even moving from your chair and without going to physically to the store and look for it. Because, for instance, I'm in Tel Aviv. I never go to stores, right? I mean, I have my bunch of people I work with in the US. I can ask them to do that for me, but I want. I just do it for my chair. And that's the thing. Now, suppose that you found 3, 4, 5 companies, and one of them you found that they are selling in like 5 different .com, like different, online channels of retailers or whatever channels. Then you start to suspect that they're going to be able, that they are able to sell offline as well. So what you're going to do next, you're going to place their name plus unboxing term in YouTube. And then you're going to start and see, because when people uploading, I'm running fast, I know, but when people upload videos independently showing, hey, I bought a product today from whatever, Rise of the Microbrands cup brand, and look at this and everything. Oh, I bought it at Bloomingdale's. Boom. You know that she went physically to Bloomingdale. If she would buy it online, she would mention, she or he, whoever does the unboxing. So an unboxing is also related to the research I'm giving you, like as far as I can with the short time which we have today. But this is like real tips, real things that I work with and that works. So
I like the idea about going to YouTube or wherever and just typing in unboxing soap or whatever it is, seeing
Exactly.
where it came from. Yeah, that's a very good idea. One other thing that you talked about, which I thought was very helpful, is when you're on Amazon, there's an Amazon look and feel. You mentioned last time that you could also go to the retail stores that you want to sell in, take a look at how they're packaged, and then see if there has to be any adjustments to your packaging to sell into the retail shop. So I thought that was a very interesting point that a lot of Amazon sellers or online sellers wouldn't take into account.
right, because suppose that you found that the competitor, one of the competitors of Rise of the Microbrands cup or lunch with Norm cup, you have it on the other side, named after I don't know, let's call it Max, okay? Just a name, Max Cups. So you would want to search Max Cups plus unboxing on YouTube, seeing how they pack their product. Once you see how they pack the product, you understand that you cannot sell yours in a cardboard simple box because it won't be selling on the shelf. Next, you will want to find out how they sell it in the store. Is it like shelved, stacked? Is it hanged? Is it on the floor, or whatever it is? And then you know what to expect and what to offer. Even if you don't have that packaging, you at least you would know what you need to talk with them, what you need to show them. You can even render that. You don't really need to have an actual packaging. You can always say, oh, we ran out of our retail packaging products. We have only the online ones. I'll send you the samples and you'll see the retail packaging later on. Here's the PDF and so on. Yeah. So that's like another point. So we went through the market research, the web store, the pricing, the e-catalog, and we'll touch a little bit the packaging. The packaging is a whole big thing, and as much as the research, at least from my point, the research is a little bit, not a little bit, but really boring sometimes, packaging is exciting because packaging is like what shirt I'm gonna wear today. If I came here red today, I wanted some kind of attraction because I knew I'm gonna have a white background. And if I would come with my white shirt that I've been with 2 hours ago, it wouldn't look good, right? This is packaging. Packaging is how to make yourself bold above others because your product is great and it's great and it's selling like, massively in Amazon and everything is cool, but then you want to bring the you want to deliver this message to the offline channels. You want to deliver that, and you have to deliver it in the right customized clothes, and the clothes are the packaging, obviously. So yeah, obviously, I mean, you have the question of, is it going to be a J hook, that small hole inside, or it can be a hook. Sometimes I've seen people using as for the green friendly environment movement that we're seeing these days rising. So they're using like a bamboo straw, not straw, but bamboo trims yarn to be holding their packaging, like as a small half moon or some whatever. And it's not a J hook, but it's cool because it's friendly friendly, like environment friendly, which is something that is very, very growing very, very fast in the retail side. When I spoke with who was it? I think it was REI, if I remember correct, the retailer. They are selling outdoor and sports, and I've showed them a couple of samples and everything. They were like, "Mate, everything is beautiful here, but check this link, please." And I opened the link, and there was like pages and pages and pages only talking about how friendly, environment friendly your packaging should be. Have to be recycled. They prefer to have it like, how do you call those brown cardboards? There's a name for that, I forgot it. But anyway, everything has to be so-called green. So this is another point of packaging. There are other points as well, but yeah. So that's for the packaging. Last thing, which is going to be your actual front face, and you're going to have everything that I spoke about until now. You're going to have it behind this sixth thing. And this thing is what I call brief. Sometimes when I'm saying brief, people don't know, what do you mean by brief? So the brief is the way I present myself. Like, I gave my brief in the beginning of this podcast and it took me like hours. But, thinking about, I mean, you were patient enough to listen to me, but when the buyer's sitting out there and seeing like tons of products every day, he wouldn't have that patient, reading like whatever, a whole Bible about your product. They don't care about your family found it here and there, and your friend flew to Australia and found it on the beach. That's not the thing. You can tell those stories online on your website, but not in the brief. The brief is the way you present yourself in an email or text message or LinkedIn or whatever. The media is the message. That's what they say, but it's not only the message, but it's also the length of the message. Because if I'm dropping, if I have a brief and I build like a 5, 6, 7 lines of presentation on email, I'm trying to adjust it to LinkedIn, because I'm not going to send this huge thing on LinkedIn. On email, it looks like, short email. But on LinkedIn, it's going to look like, wow, what did he send me here? I'll look at it later. And then they forget. Because you want to have something attractive. Not to mention that, just an example, a cute example. If you take a simple rendering, and you can do it on the phone. You don't even need to go to Fiverr to find someone. A sweet rendering, there's tons of apps doing it. Sweet rendering of your product, just turning or, whatever, flying, I don't know, whatever it is, just moving, okay? Not stable, not static. And you put that link on Dropbox, and you take that link either with as it is or with Bitly, and you put it on LinkedIn message. There's a preview of that in the message running. So think about a person who opens like so many boring messages on LinkedIn, and there are boring messages, and all of a sudden, not only they see link, which is like, hey, what are you sending me links for? Are you taking me out of the platform? Oh, wow, wait a second. This is turning, this is running, this is flying, whatever. There's a product here. It's sweet, it's cool, it's beautiful, it's tech, it's everything. Just a cute tip that I can give you guys, to whomever is listening.
Very good.
Brief. Yeah. So those are the 6 steps.
Okay. Very good. So just in case you joined us a little bit late, we're going to be giving away a consultation. And if your brand is retail ready, and if it's not, Talor is going to help you out with that. But if it is, it's going to be at least two direct contacts into retail. So you don't have to fight for it. You'll get a personal referral right to the retailer. So that's kind of priceless, I think. That's a great giveaway, and that's Wheel of Kelsey. So if you're new to the podcast too, if you see all this Wheel of Kelsey, that's what it is, to register for the giveaway at the end. And if you tag 2 people, we'll add another entry to it. Okay, so I have still a bunch of questions, but I see we have a bunch of questions, right, Kels?
That's right. We have lots of questions coming in.
So I'll wait till next time.
Okay, great. Also, people in the audience or Beard Nation, if you are not selling to retailers right now, what's your hesitation right now? What's the thing that's holding you back? I asked the question in the comments section, but yeah, just looking to see what are those things that are keeping people from selling to retailers. But
good question.
Our first question from Fatia. I will be launching my first product in Q2. It's a large product with a large packaging box. Thinking ahead for retail. Do you have any tips on how I should design my box to appeal to the retail customers? Any must-haves?
I'm trying to look at the question in the comments just to have it in front of me. So yeah, basically, yeah, I have a big tip for you and for everyone else as well. Actually, here's the thing: think about yourself going in a store, looking at the product on a box of product, because the products cannot be out there sitting on the shelf, right? So there's a box or whatever, something similar to box, and you have seen that box, but you don't know what is inside. And if you don't know what is inside, you just go on to the next shelf because you don't care. I mean, there was a box there, who cares? But if you would see the box and you would have either a picture on the box showing the product properly, or having a window, or having it even transparent, then you would say, oh, I know what it is. I understand what it is. Oh, wait a second. I need one for my cousin. You see what I'm saying? The biggest thing here is to be noticed by the people who are walking there. It's referred to that as the main picture you have on Amazon that should be selling for you, because the picture, you know, sells more than the text, if I'm not wrong.
And this is one of those products. So I know what Fatia's product is. Fatia, there's going to be a link at the end, and it'll also be on our resources page, right over to Talor, and he will give you some thoughts on, you know, whether this is retail ready or not. So take advantage of that. Okay, next.
Okay, so our next one, just following up about that link, can we reach out to you if our products are still in productions, or do we have to wait till we have them physically ready to show you them?
Yeah, you can definitely approach me if they're still in production. I think, you know, sometimes I work with people from scratch, like people are building their brand, although they have other brands or selling other products, but building the brand, and they catch me in the very beginning of their process, and I recommend them. It's much more work for me, and a lot of, you know, it's very time consuming to be involved in the whole process, but I prefer that because then I have, you know, the ability to create the product being retail ready from the first day. Now, keep in mind one very big thing that, as I see it, if you're retail ready, you're also e-commerce ready. But if you're e-commerce ready, it doesn't mean you're retail ready. So obviously, if you can, you would rather be retail ready because you catch both of them, right? So that's for your question. Definitely yes.
Okay, great. And we did reach out, or we asked our audience if they are selling to retailers, and Howard came back with, we sell our natural oral care product lines to natural grocery, health and wellness, vitamin stores, spas, boutiques, and CBD stores with our CBD product line. So great to hear. Howard, anyone else from the Beard Nation, let us know if you're also selling to retailers. Okay, next question.
That's a great niche, Howard. Great niche. Love this niche. Also the CBD, by the way. I'm involved with line of CBD right now. So great niche. Very good one. And it's funny, there's also, by the way, there's also a lot of subscription boxes, especially for CBD products. It's amazing. I didn't know that. I just found it out 2 months ago. Yeah.
Okay, great. Another one. Tia, do you like to see online sales volume before you approach retail stores?
Well, obviously it has effect. Yes, I would love to see them, but then I don't measure a brand by its online sales, because I've seen very good brands selling so online when they did very good offline, and I've seen, you know, the opposite as well. So, but yeah, I mean, obviously it's like you have to have something in head, either special products or unique or good sales, something that, you know, defines you as a label rather than just someone who buys products and sell them.
Yeah,
we're talking about label.
Yeah, the other thing is going on to online, so Walmart.com, getting onto the Walmart marketplace, and twice a year, if you're selling, if you're performing, guess what? You're invited to pitch at the head office. So, you know, it could work the opposite way too. Use your e-com, get your sales going, and get invited from a retailer.
Right. And you know much better about Walmart than me. I think you have also Michal,
yeah.
I think,
yeah.
right? And she knows like 10 times better than me about Walmart. I used to sell Walmart years ago. I don't right now. I am just involved with one label with Walmart right now as we speak, trying to get something into the stores. So I've seen also a question about Walmart, but I'm not familiar with them because at least on the offline side, on the store side, for me, it was very hard with them. But I know that online is a whole different story. So I have no idea about the online. As I said, you know better than me.
Okay, so a couple people came back with their hesitations to retailers, so I'm just going to go through a couple, and if you have any thoughts about it, let me know. But for Manny, my hesitation, the rules of the new game. Somehow I know Amazon and how it works, but with retail, no idea, which leads to the fear of the unknown.
The
And from
rules of
Simon,
yeah.
the biggest hurdle we have as a startup in the US is finding warehousing and logistics that doesn't cost the earth. And then from Nathan, one thing that concerns me is making connections to the right people, and then placing a large order with limited budget. So, yeah.
No, that's not Nathan. Like on that point, you do have your big box stores, you know, your Walmarts, your Costco's, but a lot of the times you're not putting in a huge order for the specialty stores. So you were saying, Talor, there's hundreds of thousands of these small stores. So
Right.
let's say I'm targeting a CBD store. Well, you're targeting those stores. They're ordering from you. You have a lead time, which, I mean, if you have the product in stock, great. But they're ordering smaller quantities. And something we didn't talk about, these types of specialty or mom and pops, they pay you in advance.
Exactly.
So that's the other
Exactly.
bonus here. Now, if you're going to Walmart, like I've dealt, or like with my family's business, we've dealt with the Walmarts and the Targets of the world. That's a whole other ball game, and there's different ways of financing. And another thing we talked about with Todd Snively last podcast was working with distributors to move your product. You know, if somebody's already got a line of specialty stores, you know, selling products into, I don't know, toy shops or health stores, then you don't have to do the legwork. You've got somebody there that can do it. So the other thing I wanted to talk about is, you ran by that very quickly. I think it was Simon, about warehousing. Yeah, there are different facilities you can set up right across the U.S. You know, that you could tie in and integrate. Deliver is one that I know Walmart uses quite a bit. That's probably their go-to. But yeah, there are different facilities that you can use, but you've got to build that into your margins, right? Having a warehouse and having that service is part of part of your budget.
Right.
Okay.
Right. Totally.
All right. Another question that just came in from Abdullah. So he's asking so he has a large product that's expensive, $400 plus, and he's wondering how he can sell it to retailers. It's in the home fitness niche. Is there anything different about those large products?
No difference at all. Actually, I just had someone taking my masterclass, which I did like quite a while ago, from Australia, and they were selling also products for between 400 to 600. Very big vase for funerals. I don't know the niche, but that's what they sell, and they ended up doing great wholesale orders both in Australia, US, and the UK. But again, it's a matter of like pricing, like what's your buying cost versus what's your MSRP. That's the point. That's where the answer lays. But retailers are selling expensive stuff as well, obviously.
Okay. From Rad, how do you make the retailer pay within 30 days instead of 45 and 60 days?
Well, usually the only way to do so is by giving them like 1 or 2% off the price. That's or bargaining well. I managed to work with, after working with TJ quite a while, for net 60, I managed to get net 35 or 30, I'm not sure, just by bargaining, just like, asking again and talking with the buyer and talking with finance and so on. So either bargaining or giving them like a discount. Sometimes they offer that themselves.
Okay, great. One from Nat. Does UPC code on the packaging have to be registered with GS1?
Yes. And there are bypasses for that. You can always use non-GSA verified UPC code in the beginning until you get your order. So once you see the order and you know the money is going to come in, then is when you're going to register with GS1 if you haven't registered yet. Okay, that's a solution I'm recommending people. to be honest with you, I had a GS1 account, and I used the same SKU, same UPCs for different SKUs. And whenever an SKU went out of the line, I just took the same UPC and used it for another product. I know it's not the best thing on earth to do it, but I did it, and it worked good. It worked fine. There were no problems. So that's something to keep in mind, because you can buy a different packages of GS1. You don't necessarily have to buy the big one. And it's cheaper in UK. Yeah.
We have got a brand, an 8-figure brand that we work with, and Amazon came back and just nailed this brand. For some reason, they allowed 4 items to go through, but the 11 items that do not have GS1 have now been struck down. So we can't get it listed. We can't do anything. So you can go ahead and do that. I just go and get the GS1s. I mean, it costs, and then the second year for renewal, it'll cost you $5 or whatever it is. But yeah, more and more people are going that route. I mean, if you don't have the prefix at the beginning, you don't own that GS or the UPC code, you can have a problem. But you know, if you have to, or if you want to take a chance, you know, go ahead and do the other route. But this is a really timely question, because Vandana, my senior project manager, is going crazy right now trying to get these back online.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll do 2 more questions, then move over to the wheel. So let's see, from Katia, what happens if an order is not delivered due to issues out of your control, for example, shipping congestion or inventory getting lost in transit?
Inventory getting lost on transit is something never happened to me, because you are in retail space, you're controlling the shipping, you're controlling the forwarder. So this is something that cannot happen. But I can tell you something. I'm having quite a big order right now, 2 orders, one for Ipsy subscription box and another one for Cosbox, which recently changed their name to Alltrue. And altogether, it's like almost $500,000 order. And obviously, we had issues with bringing the stuff from China because, you know, all the congestion in the port and everything. Although, I mean, it's an exception. And the PO said, I think, September 1st, and sorry, August 1st and August 15th. We delivered end of August. And last week, we delivered, like, you know, the second container or third one, I don't remember. And it was fine. We just managed to tell them that we're asking for them not to charge back us because of the situation in the port, and to take everything in consideration, and they did. So yeah, there are human beings on the other side. Yeah.
Okay, and our last question that we'll take, where did it go? Okay, here we go. For non-US sellers, how would we approach retailers? Does it make a difference if we do it in person compared to an online connection?
Not sure what it means in person, but almost half of the vendors that I work with are non-US sellers. They are, you know, based in UK, Colombia, New Zealand, Australia, Israel, some of them. So it doesn't really matter. But I'm not sure what is to do in person, but online connection is the best way to do, like as I mentioned before. Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so I think it's that time.
Is it?
We'll head on over to the wheel.
Okay.
That's right. So here we go.
It's time for the Wheel of Elsie.
All right. Thank you, everyone who has entered. If you are the winner, please email me at k@lunchwithnorm.com. Especially you YouTubers, I cannot reach you. You have to reach me. So here we go. 3, 2, 1. This is for the consult and possible 2 connections with Talor. And the winner is Howard.
Oh.
So Howard
is already in retail. Perfect. So this will be good.
Yeah. Yeah, brilliant.
Yeah. All right, Howard. Okay, congrats. And so just reach out to Kelsey, that's k@lunchwithnorm.com. So that's it. Talor, how do people get a hold of you?
Well, Facebook, Talor Offer, or on my website. I think the link is somewhere dropped on the comments.
Yeah, we'll get it up there.
Yeah, and just contact us. You can reach me out on LinkedIn, email, WhatsApp, or filling the form directly, whatever is more comfortable.
Perfect. All right. So this was great. Got to have you back again so I can ask my last 3 or 4 questions. But anyways, hey, stick around after. I got to talk to you about a few things, but we will talk to you soon. Thank you for coming on. We had lots of people wanting, hey, no problem. This was a subject that I think a lot of people want to know about. All right. So I think that's it. It was a great episode today. Kelsey, where are you?
So the link with the free examination from Talor, that's for everyone. That's not just for the winner today. So I'm going to post it just one more time. If you are interested in having Talor look at your product, whether it's ready or not, you can use this.
That's a great offer as well. Yeah. I mean, it's not an offer. I mean, you go there, check it out. And if you're retail ready, perfect. If you're not, get some advice on it.
Yeah. Oh, so yeah, it's posted there. Yes. Did you forget something?
I did forget something. Our sponsor, our very important sponsor. Okay, this episode was brought to you by Href Webmaster Tools. So, you know, we preach this at Lunch with Norm all the time, that you want to build that e-commerce website. It's crucial to build your brand. But how do you, as an Amazon seller, have the time to worry about your website and everything that goes along with it, rankings for keywords and all that stuff? Hrefs is here to help. They monitor the health, the backlinks, the keywords, and everything is done for free using their Href Webmasters tools. That's right. You can just sit back, relax, grab a cup of coffee, enjoy the podcast, and let Hrefs do everything else. So check it out. Sign up. It's zero cost, hrefs.com/AWT. That's ahrefs.com/AWT. It's awesome. And by the way, after our last podcast, I received their blog. They have a blog that comes out, a newsletter that comes out every week. And I was really impressed with the information that I received, and it was all free of charge. It's great content that they write every single week. So check it out. Now come back, Kels.
All right. So we just got a good question from Fatia. So she's asking, who do we have on later this week? Great question. We have Vince Montero from Helium 10. He'll be doing the trends and updates on PPC. And we also have Afalabi coming on the Friday too. And yeah, so thank you everyone for joining. We had new users again, which is great to see. Yeah, so hopefully if you enjoy the show, you'll be back on Wednesday. That's at 12 p.m. Eastern time. We're on every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So definitely tune in if you can. But all of these are recorded. So if you go over to our YouTube channel, Norman Farar, you'll be able to see our full catalog. And we're getting close to episode 200. So if you are interested on being on our show, this is a fan episode. This is our Beard Nation episode. Go over to our Facebook group. There's a post there where you can let us know that you're interested, or you can just email me, k@lunchwithnorm.com, and contact me that way as well.
All right. Yeah. And, you know, one thing we haven't talked about in a long time is our newsletter. That goes out every week. It's pure content, just blog articles that we write, guest blogs, curated content from around the industry. We've got a ton of members that get that every single Monday. So just go to Lunch with Norm or normfarar.com, sign up for the newsletter, and you will get it. And it's gold. There's tons of content there. Okay, so I think that's it, Mr. Kelsey. So tune in every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at noon Eastern Standard Time. And thank you, everybody, especially starting to see a bunch of new users or new listeners. Thank you for joining us. Join our community. We've got a great community. You'll see when you join the group. And thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next Wednesday, on Wednesday.
Lunch with